Hi, I'm Devin Moore, your host for Humanity Rising's Race to Speak Up podcast and founder of hashtag Race to Speak Up, an anti-bullying organization. The Race to Speak Up podcast is a place where we have open and engaging conversations about bullying prevention, how to be upstanders, and how we are making a positive change in our communities. So the question now is, how do you race to speak up? Hello and welcome to the Race to Speak Up podcast. I'm your host, Devin Moore. Today's guest is Angel Mayfield. She is the founder of hashtag Women Bosses. This is where she recruits women of color to aid them in fulfilling a career within business through discovering future majors or pursuing entrepreneurship. She teaches 7th and 8th grade students about CEO positions that they can pursue within their career. She has a goal of advocating for women of color, and Angel also joined an organization called Genesis Works, which expands career pathways and opportunities for youth from underserved communities. Congratulations to Angel for being one of the recipients of the Humanity Rising Discover Challenge scholarships. Humanity Rising works to further the work of the youth who have a passion for positively changing the world. Angel's passion is advocating for women of color. Welcome, Angel. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So, your passion is advocating for women and more specifically, women of color. Can you tell us about your work?
So basically my work started before I even started high school. In middle school, we was getting in tune with what careers we wanted to get into. And I was always so confidently saying I want to be a nurse or I wanted to get into lawyer or any type of career that usually is being taught to us. And I never really looked into my actual passions. And so when I joined high school, I was introduced to this organization by the name of Peacemakers. And I really got into with what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so with the Peace Workers groups, I learned about my future career, which is going to be a healthcare manager. And a lot of people did not know about the healthcare manager, and a lot of people do not know about it today. So I made it my mission to try to teach other people like myself about these type of positions that we're not introduced to, and more specifically, women of color who are not introduced to these positions. So yeah, that's pretty much how it started. Um, and with the group that I'm in, we recruit 7th and 8th graders because it really starts when you're young, getting a tune of what you want to do. And with the group, we just talk about different careers that we want to get into, such as accounting manager, computer and information system manager, and entrepreneurship jobs. We have hair braiders, chefs. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in our group, and we just introduce and promote ourselves as CEOs and boss women.
That's so cool. Can you tell us more about the classes that you do or like when you're speaking to the youth?
Oh, so in the classes we meet every Wednesday, and so we try to have different speakers each time to talk about their successes and what they want to get into. And so in the group meetings, they say hi, they introduce themselves, and then they talk about what they want to get into, such as if they're a hair braider, they talk about what successes they have with their business so far, or if they going to start their business or starting their career path. And so we all discuss as a group how we can improve ourselves as that business owner or within that career field. So we help each other research colleges, different programs that we can get into to expand our careers or help each other expand businesses. For example, I make flyers, so I help business owners promote themselves with flyers and stuff. So yeah, that's basically how the meetings go.
That's pretty cool. Do you want to name some women bosses that inspire you?
Um, Well, I could actually name the people that's within my group because they are very successful. So I do have one by the name of Kristen. She's a hair braider, and she go by the name of Chris Styles. She just got to start to do a hair to promote her business. Of course, we did different flyers for her, and she also started being an assistant hair braider for a person that's working in the shop. So she's building herself. And also a girl by the name of Bailey. She have a t-shirt business from our group. She's building herself. She make a lot of t-shirts for our school classes, and her shop is by the name of Tea by Bells. So yeah, shout out to them.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's cool. And then I know you also work with promoting body positivity. So can you tell us about how you do that?
Yes. So when I joined the group of peacemakers, for the different sessions, we had competitions for what we protest for. And so for the competitions, we had arts of protest. So this is through artworks or songs or dances and stuff. I did pieces of art. And with the first session, I created body positivity because that is something that I really had a problem with myself. As a skinny person, because I am very skinny, I had problems with thinking I was overweight or I didn't have the ideal body structure that society wants me to have. And I also didn't know that other people within my friend group experience body issues too, because I have friends who don't look like me and they're a little bigger than me. And I always like, oh my God, I want to look like you. And they want to look like me. So it was always the issue that I seen. And so with the art pieces, I created different pieces of body types to basically show that we're all beautiful. We all have different uniqueness within our bodies, and we're not all going to look the same how society wants us to look. And so I actually won that session, and I was able to donate to girls within schools book bags. So that was really good.
Do you have some of those artworks?
Yes, I actually do. Um, this was the first piece I made. This was the one that had won. I tried to show different types of bodies, and this was actually really good. I did have another one.
I like how it says like love your body within those different colored bodies. It's pretty cool.
Yes, and I tried to implement all types of bodies because we're all different. And I also created this one for another art thing I did for different types of showing different things that people may be insecure about, women more specifically. And I also made a male one.
Oh, that's
Just
cool.
yeah, I did it. I had moved on to a different round within the session, and so they wanted me to create different pieces, and so I did create a male one because also males definitely face body issues too, and that should be something that we implement within the male community as well.
That's pretty cool. It's important that we promote that message of us, being able to really embrace each other or embrace ourselves, I mean. And, like you should be fine with walking outside and, being comfortable in your own body and your own skin, like all of that. That's all of what I'm about is promoting positivity when like embracing yourselves. Because, you need to be comfortable within yourself. When I went, so back in back in middle school, I went through a lot of racism, which led me to feeling insecure about my skin color. And so it was not a good time, but through my Race to Speak Up work and through my parents putting me into a really good and diverse high school, I was really able to overcome that. I was really able to feel better within myself. So, and then I know, like you said, you work with advocating for women of color and body positivity. So, how how are you how are you able to overcome the things that you were going through as far as feeling positive in your body? And did you ever feel uncomfortable, I mean, with your skin color?
I think it really started from when I was younger. I was really ignorant to it because I never really had a view on how other people experience things. Because I am of lighter skin tone, I never really experienced what other people of darker skin tone will experience. I think the outlet of social media really showed me this. Um, Through social media, I learned about other people's problems, and I felt the need to actually educate myself on it and speak on it. Um, to overcome it, I have done a lot of speaking up regarding issues on my TikTok platform. I did speaking up regarding the Black Lives Matter movement during the ICE movement, and through all of the movements. And I basically just spoke on my opinion on how we should, as a community, should all speak up for each other and all speak up, for problems that we see within our community. With the body positivity thing, I really just talked to other girls. I thought it was just me, but actually hearing other people's stories and just having a relation between each other it really helped me get an understanding like I'm not alone. And this isn't something that I'm just facing myself. So having that relationship with other girls and knowing that this is a problem that we see within our society and we can overcome it together really helped me be more confident within myself.
I love that. And also, like you said, it's important to speak up on important topics like the Black Lives Matter movement. I remember when I'm going to say quote unquote trending, because a lot of people use the word trending, when Black Lives Matter was trending, which I honestly don't like using with that because something important as that shouldn't be trending for one period of time. But
Yeah.
so, anyways, when it came to Black Lives Matter movement, I was like at the protest, at the peaceful protest, and it was interesting seeing all the different types of people who
Mhm.
were there, and they want to show their support for Black lives. Like our lives should matter. We should do matter. Like we shouldn't be facing all this different hate. I mean, excuse me, shouldn't be facing hate and discrimination based of our skin color. Something that makes us beautiful. All of our melanated queens and kings. Something that makes us so beautiful. Did you ever go to Black Lives Matter protests?
Yes, in Chicago, it was really good. Especially seeing the amount of support that we had, it was amazing. I did not expect for the outcome to be like that, so I was really surprised.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I think I was 16. Yeah, I was 16. My 16-year-old self was like, wow. Like my first time going to any type of protest. My first time going to any type of protest with a like variety of different people who were about this important cause. Like seeing people come together, it's so amazing. It's
Yeah,
so inspiring.
from
Mm.
different backgrounds, seeing all of these people, like I would never relate to you, but we have the same cause of wanting to come out and speak. So it was really nice seeing it.
And so with hashtag women bosses, do you speak to a variety of different like racial backgrounds or okay, you want to tell us about that?
Yes, I can. So through the Genesis Works program, I was actually able to have a bigger outlet because within my school, we are a mix of Black and Mexican, but it's more Black people than um, Latinx people. So with the Genesis Works, they was able to allow me to introduce myself to more people of different race backgrounds. So I was able to introduce them to the women bosses, um, which expanded my platform really because I was able to tell them about different career choices and stuff. And a lot of people was actually interested. And so they haven't actually been able to join it because we haven't made a online group, but we're in the works of that. So I still teach them about the different updates or the things that we're talking about, but we haven't made our online group yet.
Okay. Why don't you tell us more about your work with Genesis Works?
Yes, so I was introduced to Genesis Works through my counselor. And she was basically telling me, we was talking about my career choice and with healthcare management. And she said Genesis Works has a great accounting program. So it was basically a interview type of selection thing. I was interviewed to be in the organization and I was able to get the part. And it's basically a group for people in communities that don't really get recognized. So really minority communities. And it helps you build into your career and it helps you get introduced to different career fields that you may be interested in. And so with the program, they have you go through a 6-week summer program where you learn how to be a young professional. They teach you how to write resumes, have conversations, write emails, basically build yourself to be more professional in the workforce. And then they also teach you about whatever course that you decide to get into. So I got into accounting and I did that. And if you pass the summer course, you get to go into an internship, which I am in now, and I internship for the Jacobson Group, which is an insurance talent company. So yeah.
That's really cool. And as you honestly should, we need a lot more. We need schools that allow for that to happen. We need
Yeah.
schools that have things like Genesis Works where you can go and or whether it's also like during the summer where you can go and learn about these different things and you know benefit from that and really work towards figuring out what you want to do with your life. That's so interesting that you're able to do that. Why do
Yeah.
you? And then, so going back to how you said you want to work with healthcare administration, correct? For your job career. So why is it important that we see representation of women of color in higher positions?
I think this is really important because decision making isn't just for one specific type of race. It's decision making is for all races. So being healthcare is a very broad system. And so getting into the healthcare field, you're not only getting in there for white people, but you're getting there for Black people, Latinx people, Native people. You're getting into it all type of cultures and races. And so representation is putting those voices that's not really being heard voices into use. And so your having yourself in that position, you're able to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And that's really important, especially for minorities.
What impact do you think it will have on the younger generations?
I believe they'll be able to learn more about these positions and be able to feel them, basically. Um, I think representation will really be more known, and they will know that, okay, I can actually do this, because we're not really introducing these type of positions or career fields. So a lot of people don't think that they can pursue it, but actually seeing this type of representation and seeing how effective it is and the impact it can have, people will want to do it more.
That's very true. It's very true. We need to, like you're saying, we need to start young with a lot of these different things.
Yeah.
We need to start young with whether it's just like, doing something super simple, like reading a book about, oh, this person wants to go for this job career, keep it. We just need to introduce these different things. I know when it comes to like just in general, when it comes to promoting more unity in the world, especially with my work through Race to Speak Up, the anti-bullying organization, like all my bullying prevention work, I know that things start young. So instead of like have being in a environment or a school where like say in middle school, because once you hit middle school, that's when people start to really realize that we all don't look the same, nor do we
Yeah.
act the same, talk the same, walk the same. We don't look the same or we don't do the same things, and that opens this ground for bullying and feeling like an outcast. We need to promote more unity during like younger ages in order to really feel this sense of happiness that we're going on. We need to recognize something I think a lot of schools or just anything that's dealing with the youth needs to really implement into their messaging is that we are all a part of one race, which is the human race. And so I really love the work that you're doing with teaching all these different types of youth and types of people about how to about these different CEO positions, about how to get into these higher positions. It's really important. And when you're speaking to students, do you talk about the importance of being an upstander?
Definitely. We try to promote um, speaking up about uniqueness, because every person, that's why I was talking about learning about the different careers, because every person is not going to have the same interests. So when society introduces us to these same type of careers, such as things known as being a nurse or a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, we're not all going to be interested in those things. So it's okay to have a passion that not everybody has as well. So actually being true to who you are and being understanding that people aren't the same as you is something that we really promote, because we're not the same, and we all going to have our own uniqueness. So understanding other people's uniqueness is something that's really important.
Very true. Very true. I know how important it is to speak up for a better world to live in and to help others. I'm doing this through my hashtag Race to Speak Up anti-bullying organization and through Humanity Rising. And like I said before, you won the Humanity Rising Discover Challenge Scholarship. So what does this mean for you?
I think this is actually my foundation to keep going, because with this, I didn't know it would get this far. It was really something that I really just wanted to help people understand and also get an insight of. But now it really wants me to expand it onto other people. Like, this is something that a lot of people need to know and a lot of people should know. And so I think it really helped me and inspired me to keep going, basically.
How did you come across Humanity Rising?
I was actually introduced to this by my program coordinator from Genesis Works. I told her about my actual hashtag women bosses, and she was like, "Oh my God, this would be perfect for Humanity Rising through the Discover Challenge." And I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll do it." But she also really taught me to put myself out there, and yeah, I'm glad I did.
And what are your hopes and dreams for yourself and your work moving forward?
I hope to, of course, expand this group, and I hope to see a lot of more people within my career field, like myself. I know going into this field, I wouldn't see a lot of people of women of color, more specifically. So I'm hoping doing this in the future, people that's in my position will also see people like them as well.
Well, this is a great conversation, Angel. My last question for you is how can people find you? Tell us your social media platforms and website.
Okay, I do not have a website, but I do have an Instagram by the name of Angel Pooh, Angel and Poohh. I am going to make a hashtag Women Bosses Instagram account, and I'll be keeping updates on my Instagram page.
Do you also want to say the Genesis Works website?
Oh, yes, I can. I do not know the Genesis Works website by heart, but it is Genesis Works by GENESYS works.com. And you guys can actually try to get an interview with them and join the program because it's really good.
Well, Angel, it was great speaking to you and hearing how you race to speak up to create a more better and more empathetic world. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to all who are listening. I hope to see you guys at future Race to Speak Up podcasts. If you have any questions about the Race to Speak Up podcast, feel free to contact me at racetospeakup@gmail.com. Make sure to follow at Race to Speak Up on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for updates on future podcasts. Join the Humanity Rising movement. Humanity Rising offers scholarships for students making a difference in the world through service. Visit www.humanityrising.org for more information. And remember to ask yourself this question: how do you race to speak up?